If you're looking to start your own WordPress blog, you have zero coding experience and want it done today, then you are in the right place. If you're wanting to create a website or start a business, then having a blog is one of the most important things you can do. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the entire process so you can have your blog up and running within the hour. Hey, this is John, and if you're on the fence about starting your blog, maybe you're thinking it's going to be too expensive or too hard, I'm going to be walking you through the entire process from A to Z on how to get it started quickly and inexpensively. So why exactly should you start a blog? Blogs are so easy and inexpensive. There's really no reason not to have one these days. You can use your blog to talk about and share your hobbies. You can use your blog as a branding page or a resume. And you can literally get the thing up and running within the hour. So how much does it cost exactly? So the first thing you're going to need is a domain name, and that's simply the name of your website. So whatever your URL is .com, that's simply a domain name, and it's going to be about $15 per year. The next thing you're going to need is website hosting, and this is just a server to store all of your files, and that's going to be about $5 per month. So it is really inexpensive, and I will be showing you how to get a discount on that as well. So before we get started, I just want to quickly run through exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. So we're going to be talking about how to get a domain and hosting, how to install WordPress, how to log into your blog, how to clean up your dashboards. We're going to get rid of everything you don't need and get things so you're ready to go. Basic WordPress settings, a little bit of optimization, how to install your theme. So I'm going to walk you through how to get a free theme for your site. Necessary plugins, we're going to be covering the ones you need from just kind of basic. They're going to help with speed and optimization to get you going. Setting up Google Analytics, Google Search Console as well, how to create pages, menus, how to create widgets. We're going to customize your theme. We're going to create and then insert your logo. We're going to create your first post. I'm going to show you how to actually come up with some topics to pick about your first couple of blog posts, and then we're going to log out. So that's everything we're going to be covering in this video, and I will just mention timestamps are below, so if you want to skip to any section of the video, just check out the description down below. All the timestamps will be in there. I just wanted to quickly mention our giveaway. So if you want to enter into our course giveaway, which can be done every 1,000 subscribers, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment giveaway down below. Do those three things to be automatically entered. So we are going to be creating different courses on how to use different page builders, how to SEO optimize your website, how to increase the speed of your website, and a bunch of other stuff. And we'll be giving away a few of those every 1,000 subscribers we hit. And all you have to do to enter is do these three things. But let's jump back to the video. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to get website hosting for our blog. And pretty much if you don't know, a web host is it's basically a server where you can store all the files of your website. Without one, you can't have it. And the one I'm going to recommend and the one I use for all my sites is SiteGround. I have used quite a few other ones in the past, and SiteGround is by far my favorite. And the reason why you want to use you want to use a self-hosted platform like SiteGround versus like Wix or GoDaddy or like Blogger, just because the sites on like SiteGround or self-hosted, they're going to be a lot faster, they're going to be easier to customize, and they're going to rank higher in the search engines. They do cost a little bit of money, but the benefits you do get out of it is well worth it. And I would just stay away from sites like Wix or Blogger, that kind of thing. So if you click the first link in the description, you'll come to this page here. And this is just my resources and deals page. So it's just a place where I list all of the resources and tools that I use and recommend, as well as discounts, bonuses, that kind of thing. But if you scroll down to where it says SiteGround here, you can click on this link here. You'll come to this page here, and it's just an article I made of why SiteGround is the best host and why I currently use it. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can come here and read it. But just some quickly things are they have crazy fast load times, faster than anything like Bluehost or whatever. WordPress actually recommends them as one of their hosts. They're #1 rated in a bunch of different Facebook groups. So if you want to come in here and you can kind of see all this stuff. But one thing I will mention is if you don't want to go with SiteGround, I'm going to recommend you avoid hosts are owned by EIG, which is kind of a big company that is owned by Bluehost and HostGator, and there's like a bunch of different ones, and it's a big company that kind of comes in, and they're known for like cramming way too many people on the same server, and that's going to hurt your performance. So all I ask is that you avoid an EIG company, but I would recommend SiteGround. They are my favorite. So if you do come to this page here, you can simply scroll down to the SiteGround section, and you can click on this link here to get the current deal. So as of right now, they are offering plans for $3.95 per month instead of $11.95 per month. So simply just click this here and you can get that deal. And I will receive a small commission if you do sign up through SiteGround through this link here. And you can also see some of the bonuses I've created for you as well as a special thank you. But this is going to be the best price here. You can get it $3.95 is the cheapest instead of $11.95. So you can come down here, and once you're on this page here, you basically have you have two options really. I'm not going to really recommend the Go Geek. You don't need it. There's just too much stuff that you're not going to need. So either the startup or the Grow Big is going to be for you. If you're only going to have one website and you're never going to create another one, I would recommend you go with this startup here. It's just for one website, 10 gigs of web storage, that kind of thing. If you know you're going to have multiple websites, I would recommend the Grow Big plan here, but pretty much whatever you want. So let's just click on the startup for now. And you can come over here, it's going to say get a new hosting account. So you're going to click that. You're going to come down, enter your domain. So if you don't have a domain name, you can get one. So register your domain, put in your domain name here. I would recommend a .com if you can get it. If you have a domain hosted somewhere else, you can click this and put that in there. And then I will show you how to hook that up in a second. But for now, we're just going to go register your domain name, put it in there. You're going to scroll down. You're going to click your plan. You're going to come down to purchase information. Plan is going to be whatever one you choose, your location, your period. So basically, you can get a 1 month trial, you can get 12, 24, 36, so whatever you want, doesn't really matter. Come down to domain extras. So domain registration, you're going to get domain privacy. I would recommend that you do get this. And basically what this means is if you don't have this checked and you don't have domain privacy, people can actually search up your domain name and they can see your personal information like your name, phone number, that kind of thing, and you're going to get an endless amount of phone calls, that kind of thing. But if you do click domain privacy, they're going to block all that information out. It's about $12 per year, but definitely worth it. So you can click that, you can come down, payment information, do all that kind of stuff, and then pretty much you're good to go. They're going to send you an email with your login information. Once you get that email, you're going to log in, and then we're going to move on to the next step. The next step is going to be to log into your dashboard and install WordPress on your website. And if you don't know, WordPress is just an easy way to customize the look and layout of your website. So you don't need to have any coding experience. You don't need to know any of that kind of stuff. Most of the websites on the internet right now use WordPress, and there's no reason to not use it. You don't need to code, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you how to set it up. Once you get your email with all your account information, you're going to come to SiteGround. You're going to click on Login. You're going to come to My Accounts, click on cPanel, come down to WordPress, scroll down to Install Now, come down to Choose Installation URL, come in here, click on the one that is HTTP www. We're going to be changing it to HTTPS in a second. We can't do it right now. We got to do this one first, so we'll click that. You'll choose your domain name, come down to site settings and do your site name and site description. Site name is just simply the name of your website. Site description is a little bit of a, it's maybe, 4 or 5 words that describe your website that basically gives the Google some information on what your site's about. If your site, for mine example, would be WordPress tutorials or WordPress SEO, WordPress speed optimization. So I could do like WordPress tutorials for beginners as my site description. It just lets the search engines know what your site's about, and then it'll help you rank higher in Google. Come down to admin account, create a username and password for yourself, put in your email, choose your language. You don't need to do any of this. I don't necessarily do this. And click install, and then it's going to install WordPress to your website. So it should take anywhere from a couple minutes to maybe a couple hours for WordPress to be put onto your website. So if you simply go to your domainname.com or whatever up here and you click enter, and it pops up that it'll say like this domain is hosted with SiteGround. If that's the case, then WordPress isn't installed on your website yet. But if it does show you like an actual website that's pretty bare bones, that kind of thing, that means that WordPress is set up and you are ready to go. So if that's the case, then you can move on to the next step. But I will quickly show you what to do if you do have a domain name that's hosted with someone other than SiteGround. So what you need to do is you need to come to wherever your domain name is registered. You want to come into your domain name and you want to look for name servers, wherever it says that. Click on that. You're going to do edit name servers. And what you're going to do is you're going to come to SiteGround. You're going to go to My Accounts, Information and Settings. And you're going to come down to where it says Account DNS. So you're pretty much going to copy this here. You're going to come back to here. And you're going to paste that into name server 1. You're going to come back, copy this here. Paste that into name server 2. Click Save. Then your website will be pointed to the SiteGround name server. You're then going to come back to SiteGround, go to cPanel, click on Add-on Domains, type in your domain, create a password, and then click on Add-on Domain, and then pretty much your site will be good to go. Once you do that, then you'll do the WordPress settings, and that's pretty much all it takes, and we will move on to the next step. Once WordPress has been installed in your site and it looks something like this whenever you go to your domain name, we can then log in. So what you're basically going to do is you're going to type in your domain name, whatever your extension is, so .com/wp-admin. You're going to go to that and then it's going to ask you for your login and password, which is pretty much just going to be what you put in when you installed WordPress. So once you put that in, you'll be able to log into your back office. And it's going to look like this. So what we're basically going to do is, this is the back office of your website, and you can do all this stuff on the side. So you can do posts, media, which is pictures, pages, we can appearance, plugins, settings, all this kind of stuff, which we're going to get to in a second. But what I quickly want to do is, I want to first install the SSL certificate on our site. So pretty much what that is if you come to a site, and it says HTTPS, and then it has the little lock sign. So it says connection is secure, and you want to make sure your website is secure, and SiteGround actually offers that for free. I'm sure you've been on a website where this is like in red and it says not secure, and it'll ask you, do you want to exit this website? So you don't want that. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go back to SiteGround, we're going to go to My Accounts, we're going to go to cPanel, we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, Let's Encrypt, we're going to scroll down, find your domain, make sure it's Let's Encrypt SSL, click install, and then you may have to wait a couple minutes. Just keep refreshing your screen, and then it's going to pop up in this section here. Once it's in this section here, you're going to come to Select an Action, HTTPS Settings, click this, OK, and then you're ready to go. Your site will be secure. The next thing you want to do is come to your dashboard, come down to Settings, General, WordPress address, come in here and add an S so it says HTTPS, come down, click Save, you are good to go. The next thing we'll do is add Cloudflare to your website, and this is another cool feature that SiteGround offers. It just makes your website more faster, that kind of thing. It's just an overall good thing to do. So if you come here, come down to Cloudflare, come down, find your domain name, activate for free. It will probably ask for your email, so put that in, and then it's going to ask you this here. It's basically going to say, do you want to check if your website is working through www? And if not, reconfigure it automatically. Click on yes, and then you're pretty much good to go after that. Once you've done that, we can then move on to the next step. The next step is going to be to do a little bit of cleanup in our back office. So we're going to make sure that there's nothing that we don't need. So we're going to get rid of like posts, pages, comments, all that kind of stuff that we don't need. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come to posts and go to all posts. If there is any post there, all you do is you'll check this, you'll come to here, move to trash, and then apply, and then you're good to go. We're going to do the same in pages, so pages, all pages. If there's any pages, just click them and delete them. And the same thing in comments. Make sure there's no comments there. And the final thing we'll do is we'll come into plugins, go to install plugins, and you want to make sure that the only plugin you have should be this SG Optimizer. So if there's any of the other plugins here, you simply click it, bulk actions, delete, apply, and then you're good to go. So just make sure that you have no posts, no pages, no comments, and the only plugin you have is SG Optimizer. Once you do that, then we can move on to the next step. The next thing we'll do is just do some basic WordPress optimization. We'll get things kind of in order. So the first thing we'll do is we'll come down to users, go to all users, click the user. You can mess around with this stuff here, but it's not too important. You want to come down and do your name. So username will be standard. First name, so you can put your name, your last name, or whatever. You can do your nickname, and then you want to display name publicly as whatever you want. So if you don't do anything, this is just going to be whatever your username is will be displayed here, but you can kind of customize this to whatever you want. Put in your email. You can do this stuff if you want, but you can come down, click your profile picture, come down and click update profile, and then you are good to go. After that, we'll come down to settings, go to general. You want to make sure that your site title is the name of your URL. The tagline will be something that says something about your website, so the search engines know what your website's about. Make sure this is HTTPS and then your website, email address. This stuff doesn't really matter. You can change your site language, time zone, all that kind of stuff. Come down, save changes. We will then come to settings and go to reading. The first section is your homepage display. So this is going to be whatever you want on your homepage. So as a standard, it's going to be your latest posts. And if you are doing a blog, pretty much on all my niche websites, I have my latest post as my homepage. But if you do want to have a static, so like you want to actually customize your homepage, then you'll simply click on this. But we're going to get to this in a second, so you can just leave that, as your latest post for now. You'll come down to, for each article in the feed, show. I like doing summary. So once you do that, you'll click save changes. And the final thing we'll do is we'll come down to settings, go to permalinks, and you want to come down and select post name. Come down, click save changes, and that's pretty much the basics on what you need to do, and we can move on to the next step. The next step is when we're going to be starting to get into some of the more exciting parts. We're actually going to customize and pick a theme. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to your dashboard, come to appearance, and go to themes. It's going to show you what theme you have right now, but you can come to add new up at the top. And it's going to give you a big list of different themes. So the good thing about WordPress is they literally have hundreds or, probably even thousands of different themes for you to pick from. So you can just kind of look through here to find one that you like. But I will just mention that not all themes are created equal. Some of them are much slower than others. So it's super, super important for SEO and like a user experience to have a theme that is fast loading. So I will talk about that in a bit, but some of these are really slow and not designed very well. So you want to make sure that it is fast. So what you can do is you can come into any of these and you can click on details and preview, but you just want to make sure that there's actually good reviews. So this one here, this theme has not yet been rated, so I probably wouldn't use it. But you want to basically come down and details and preview. So this one has 43, about 3.5, so not the best, but you kind of want to come down and find one that has a lot of good reviews, and that's kind of a good sign. But if you are starting a blog and want something fast, I'm going to recommend 3. So you can go up to the search bar here, and the first one's going to be GeneratePress. The second one is going to be Zacra, and the third one is going to be Neve. The one I use for the majority of my websites is going to be GeneratePress. I like it because it's simple, it's really fast, and you can actually use it with most of the page builders out there that are drag and drop. So you can do a lot of customization. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be doing it with GeneratePress. So this is kind of what I would recommend. Now, if you are wanting a more kind of professional looking website, like something like this, there's going to be all these different themes here. I probably wouldn't recommend going with one of these just because it is a little bit more complicated than it probably needs to be. So what I'm going to recommend doing is, and I will have a video for this, I will leave it down below. We're not going to really talk about this, but you can use a drag and drop editor like Elementor to actually drag and drop and customize the theme exactly the way you like it. We're not going to cover it in this video just because it is a little bit more complex, but I will create another video and leave a link for that in the description down below. So if you want to install and activate GeneratePress, you can go ahead and do that. You'll simply come to it, you'll click install. I already have mine installed, and then you'll click activate. And we're going to get into how to actually customize it in a second. But I just want to quickly mention, when you're first getting started, you don't want to spend a whole lot of your time making your perfect website. I found it's much more important to actually start creating content for your website to get people to it, because you can always change it. I know there's so many people who want the thing to be perfect, and then they spend like months and months making it perfect, and that whole time there's nobody coming, so it doesn't really matter. So if you are starting a blog, just get like kind of the basic bare bones out, start creating content, and then once people start coming to your site, then you can always go back and redo the design of it. But once this is activated, you can simply come up to here and you can do visit site, and it's going to look much different than the one you probably had. So it's just kind of the bare bones, and we can design it much more nicely when we do actually customize it, but that's pretty much good for now, and we'll move on to the next step. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add plugins to our website, and a plugin is simply it's a thing that goes on top of your website to make it run better. It could be to make your website more SEO friendly. It could be to speed up your website, design your website. There's literally plugins for everything. And in this step, I'm going to pretty much just talk about the necessary plugins, just the basic ones that you need in order to get your site to speed up really fast so you get good speed scores for SEO, and then a couple other things. So there's tons of different ones, but these are going to be the basics. So if you come to plugins and you go to install plugins, the only one you should have is SG Optimizer. So this is one of my favorite, and this is only for people who use SiteGround. So it's pretty important that you do have the SiteGround. So if you have that, you'll come down to your thing here and you'll go to SG Optimizer and you'll click on that. So what SG Optimizer does, it just optimizes your site to run faster. So it has like caching, which makes your site load faster. It has different optimizations for like enabling HTTPS, which is like secure, that kind of thing. It has some front-end optimizations, so like minimizes files, and then also images. And one of the biggest reasons for slow websites is not having compressed images. So this here will compress all of your images. And this is one of the most important, just because when Google looks at your site and they kind of determine what sites wants to rank, one of their ranking factors is speed. So it's super important that you have a fast website. And I will just show my GT metrics for this site. So page score is A, why slow is a B, 87. I have a little bit of work to do, but page speed score is A, which is definitely high. It's faster than most websites out there. And we do have a load time of 452 ms, which is way faster than most. So that's definitely going to help me outrank others. So super important. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come to Super Cache here. And the first thing you want to do is you want to turn on caching. So basically what you want to do is you first want to go to your SiteGround cPanel. You want to come down to Super Cacher. Come down, find your domain name and make sure this is on. You'll then go to Dynamic Cache and do the same thing, make sure that's on, and then also Memcache. Make sure that Memcache is turned on. I believe that you can only do this on the second and third tier. I believe the basic plan doesn't have this, but if you can turn this on here, turn that on. You'll then come back to SG Optimizer and you want to turn on dynamic caching, turn on automatic cache purge, come down and turn on Memcache if you are able to. Do that, you'll come down to environmental optimization. You'll want to turn on enable HTTPS, enable fix insecure content, come down, enable gzip, and enable browser caching. Come to front-end optimization, leave all these checked off and turn on remove query strings and disable emojis. And then come to image optimization, come in new images, make sure that's on, and you can turn all these on, lazy load images. You can turn those on, and if you do have any pictures, you can click on optimize images and it'll optimize those automatically. And I'm not going to get into what all these things mean. I've messed around with this a lot and this has given me the best results. So just go based on that. Next thing we want to do is we want to come back to plugins and go to add new. You'll then want to come to the search bar and type in auto optimize. So it's right here, this one here. You'll click on install now and activate. You'll then come to settings, go to auto optimize. You want to come to JavaScript options. You want to click on optimize JavaScript and also aggregate JS files. Make sure those two are checked. The rest you can leave blank. Come down to CSS, check the first three boxes here. Come down to HTML, check that first box, and then you can come all the way down and click on save changes. And by having this all checked here, the settings here with auto optimize and also SG optimizer, you should have a faster website than probably 90% of the websites out there. So that's really going to help you. And basically the most important things with speed are having a good host. That's why I went with SiteGround. They're the best in my opinion. Having a good theme. That's why I use GeneratePress, and having the right plugins, which is SEO Optimize and Auto Optimize. So if we go to plugins, go to add new, the next one is going to be Pretty Links. So you can pretty much just install that and activate now. And this is going to be a redirection plugin. And if you're doing any sort of affiliate marketing where you do have kind of like weird links, you can put them into Pretty Links here, and it'll make it much more nicer. So what you can do is you can come over to Pretty Links here, you can click on that, we can then come to add new. So let's say that I have an affiliate product, and let's say that my affiliate product is SiteGround. So if you've ever seen an affiliate, you know it's kind of like complicated and it's impossible to remember. So let's just say that this is my affiliate link for SiteGround that I get. There's no way I can remember this, so what I can do is I can come to Pretty Links, I can put this into the target URL, I can call this SiteGround, and what I can do is I can come to Pretty Link and I can make this like SiteGround. So pretty much what happens is if someone goes to like stupidsimplewp.com, which is my website, /SiteGround, it'll then point them to this. So if I want to give someone my affiliate link, I can just say go to stupidsimplewp.com /SiteGround, and then that'll take them there, which is really, really useful. Or what I did for my YouTube channel. So this here is my YouTube link, and there's no way I can give that to someone to remember. So what I did is I put that in my target URL, and then did my Pretty Link as YouTube. So I can simply just say go to stupidsimplewp.com /YouTube, and it'll take them to that channel. So it is a pretty cool and must-have thing in my opinion. The third plugin is going to be called Security. So you can come here at this one here, install and activate it. It should take you to something like this, but if not, you can come down to Security, go to Settings, and then it's going to say like Generate API Key. So you'll click on that. It might ask for your email. You'll click, you'll put in your email, click like Submit or whatever, and then it should connect it. But Security is just a plugin here that protects your website from spam or that kind of thing. They can back up your website, so if anything happens to it, you can get your site back. If you don't have anything like this and someone hacks your site, it could be gone. So this one just definitely adds a layer of security to your site, and it's something you really want to have. The final plugin is going to be called Yoast. So this one right here, so install it and activate it. You can come down to SEO here, what's going to be, you can go to General, you can come to Features and make sure all these are turned on. You can then go back to Dashboard and do Open Configuration Wizard. It's going to walk you through some steps to pretty much just optimize your site. So you want to do option A, my site is live and ready to be indexed. So next, you'll choose what type of site you are. If you're a blog, an offline business, whatever, I'm a blog. Does your site represent a person or organization? So if you're a company, you can do organization. If you're a person, you can do person. Search engine visibility. So you want to make sure that posts are checked, pages are checked, and my templates, if you have them, are checked. Multiple authors. So is your site going to have multiple authors? If it's just you, do no. If someone else is going to be writing, then you can do yes. Put your name there and then do title selector. Just this first one's fine, just whatever's standard. You can ignore this. You can scroll down and then you're done, right? So you can do close and then you are ready to go. And Yoast is just going to give you, it's going to help you optimize your pages and posts to rank in the search engines. So we're going to get into that in a second. But it's just an easy way to make sure that your pages have a better chance of getting ranked, that kind of thing. And we will get into that when we do pages and posts. But that is going to be it for the plugins, and we'll move on to the next step. In the next step, we are going to be installing Google Analytics on our site. So if you don't already know what this is basically, it's a tool that you can use to see all of your top posts, all your top pages, what search terms people are typing into Google to find your website, and all that kind of stuff. How many visitors you're getting per day, all that kind of stuff, which is definitely useful to know. So if you do go to Google and simply type in Google Analytics, you'll come and click on this one right here. You're going to have to log in with your Gmail. If you don't have one, you have to create that. You'll come to this page, you'll click sign up. You're then going to fill out all this information, scroll down and click on Get Tracking ID. Accept all this stuff. So we're then going to come to this page here and we're going to get our tracking ID, which is right here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come back to our website. You want to go to plugins, go to add new, and then simply search for analytics. You're going to look for this one right here, Google Analytics Dashboard Plugin for WordPress by Monster Insight. You're going to install that and then activate it. You should get a little note up at the top here saying you need to configure your analytics. But if not, you can come down, scroll down to Insights, go to Settings. You're then going to scroll down and look for Launch Setup Wizard. You're then going to answer these questions. It's going to ask you to connect to Google Analytics. So I've already done it, but you should be able to click a button here where it'll take you and it'll ask you to log into your Gmail. It'll then ask you to select your website. You simply hit connect and then you're pretty much good to go. You'll then just keep continuing. You can leave all this stuff here as default. Save and continue, skip this step. It should say awesome, you're all set, and then you can simply finish setup and exit wizard. And that's pretty much it. You're all connected to Google Analytics. If you come to Google Analytics, it looks something like this. This is just like a test one, so there's going to be no information. But you can see like real time like stats of who's on your website. You can come down to like behavior. You can go to overview, and then it'll show you exactly how many page views you're getting, average time on a page, bounce rate, all this kind of stuff. You'll be able to see your most popular pages, all this kind of stuff. You can come down and check out all this other stuff. Acquisition, you can see traffic, search console, what search terms people are typing in, and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, if you're just creating a website, nobody's going to be coming to it right now. But over time, as people do start to come, you will see all this kind of stuff and more data, which is really, really useful. But that's pretty much it. You can just kind of come in here and play around with all this stuff. That's going to be it for this step, and we will move on to the next one. The next step is going to be to install Google Search Console on our site. And this is just another tool similar to Google Analytics, but it just tracks more site performance, site traffic, and it's going to tell you any issues you have that are going to impact your Google search results, that kind of thing. So what we want to do is simply Google Search Console, click on this first one here, click on Start Now. You're going to come to URL prefix here, type in your domain name, click Continue. You should then come to a page that looks somewhat like this, and you want to look for Google Analytics. So you want to use your Google Analytics account to verify. So as long as you're logged into the same email that you created your Google Analytics account with, you should be able to use Google Analytics. It should connect it automatically, but you'll want to click on verify, and then you should be good to go. You'll then want to come back to your site, go to SEO, and then look for Search Console. It's then going to ask you, I've already done it here again, but it'll say something like get Google authorization code. You'll simply click on that. You will log in with your Gmail account, the one that you created for your Google Analytics and Search Console. It's then going to give you a long code. You'll simply copy that code, paste it into the little bar here, and you'll click on connect, and then you're pretty much good to go. Once that's done, obviously, again, nobody's going to be at your site now, but in the future, you can come to Google Search Console and you're going to get all this different information, site maps, performance, URL inspections, and all this kind of stuff. It's going to give you like what people are searching for in Google and a lot of other stuff as well. So it is pretty cool and something you will want to play around with in the future. But that's going to be it for this one. The next step in the process is going to be to add pages to our website. And this isn't going to be posts or anything like that. They're kind of like the staple posts on your website, like your about, contact, resource page, homepage, that kind of thing. So what you want to do is you want to come to your dashboard, and you are going to have to decide what you want on your homepage. So do you want your homepage to be all of your latest posts, or do you want it to be like a static page that you have to design yourself? For my kind of niche websites, most of them, I just have the latest blog posts as the homepage. It's easier, and there's really no need to do anything else if you are creating a blog. So it's going to be up to you. But what you want to do is you want to come down to settings, go to reading, and if you want to have your latest blog post as your homepage, you'll simply click on your latest posts, click save, and you are good to go. If you want to have, a special homepage that you design yourself, you'll simply click on a static page, and then we're going to have to choose homepage and post page. So what you will have to do is you have to come to pages here, go to add new. You can simply title it home, and then you'll click publish. We can then come back to settings, go to reading, and then you'll go to homepage, and you will select home. Then we're going to have to create another page for our post page. So this is going to be where all of our blog posts are going to go. So you simply go to pages again and go to add new. You can then title the post right here as blog. You'll click publish, go back to settings, reading, come down to posts, click on blog, and then you pretty much click save and you are good to go. So your home page will be your home, your post page will be your blog, and then we can customize this later. So if this is the case here and I select home page as my About Us page, post page as blog, I can hit save and I can go to my site and see that my main home page here is going to be About Us. And then if I go to my blog page, it's going to have all the latest posts here. Or if I have latest posts selected, save changes, and I come back to my home page, I will have my latest post here. So whatever you kind of want to do, but the good news is that you can always change it as you go. So you can literally create as many different pages as you want, but I will suggest that you do a couple core ones just to get going. So what you want to do is you want to come to pages and go to add new. And the next page you'll want to create is going to be your about page. So you can simply title it About or About Us. And then what you want to do is you want to click down here, and this is where you can type. So this is where you can type. So this can be where you're going to type your About section, and you can literally change all the stuff. So you can do like headings, you can bold it, you can italicize it, create numbered lists, that kind of thing. You can align it to the center, or you can create a link. So you simply highlight that, click on Insert Link, type in where you want it to go, click this thing, and then you are good to go. So there are lots of different things you can do. If you want to add a picture, you can simply type on Add Media. You can then upload a file, upload it here, or you can go to your media library and insert photo. It'll insert there. Pretty much that's all it takes. It's super, super simple. But what you kind of want to do in your About pages, it is pretty important because it does tell Google, what your site's about, maybe what you're about, or it gives other people an idea on what you're about as well. You don't have to spend too much time on this because you can always change it later on, but I would recommend you create a pretty good About page. Just a kind of a simple kind of structure. You can quickly talk about you. You can talk about why you created this site, and then you can link to other profiles. So you can simply link to like your YouTube channel if you have it, your Facebook page, Facebook group, Instagram. That's pretty much the main structure that I do. Just talk about who you are, give a little bit of background about yourself, talk about why you created the website, what it's going to be about, what kind of content people are going to be able to see on your site, and then link to other profiles. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but just simply write something about yourself, and then you want to come down here, and this section here is going to be the Yoast SEO plugin that we installed. So we can kind of optimize the snippet here. So this is going to be what people are going to see whenever they look in Google. So this is what the Google result is going to look like. So if you go to Google and type in how to make a blog, you're going to see all these results. So this here is what you can actually customize with this. So what you can do is you can come to Yoast SEO and you want to do a focus keyword. And we're going to kind of talk about this more in the content section, but you want to kind of put like what's the main key phrase that this page would be about. And for this page here, it'd probably just be like about about something like that. Like someone isn't going to really search for that, but you can just do that. You want to click on this here, and then you can do your SEO title, which is going to be this in blue here. For the about page, I would just do like about and then your website name. Not really a big deal. Meta description is going to be what's below this. So you want to just briefly describe what your site's about, maybe like a sentence or two, and then that's pretty much it. It's not really a big deal for the about page, but you can scroll down and it's going to see SEO analysis. So it's going to give you kind of different things that you can do to this page to make it more SEO friendly. So green is going to be good, orange is going to be could be improved, and then red is problems. So you can kind of go through this and check off the list, and it's not an exact science. If you do have all these, you still might not rank, but it's good to have, check as many of these as you can. Outbound links. So if you add a link to another website, that'll be outbound links. Internal links, that's going to be a link to another page on your website. Key phrase in introduction is having like the first kind of couple paragraphs of your site having this specific key phrase that people are going to be searching for. Again, not really important for this page here, but when you're doing your post page, that is going to be more important. Key phrase in meta description is going to be having your key phrase in right here. Image alt attributes is if you come up to here, you can add a featured image. So let's say I wanted to add this one as my featured image. In the alt text right here, you want to have your key phrase as well. So key phrase, you'll simply click on set featured image. And what it's going to do is it's going to add this image right here, pretty much to the top of this whenever you do publish it. I'm not going to publish it now, but whenever you do click publish, it's going to be the top picture of your article or page. That's pretty much what that is. Then we have text length. So the text length, obviously this one's really short, but it's going to say the minimum of 300 words. So obviously the longer you make it, the better, but it's going to give you kind of a rough estimate on what you could do to improve. Meta description length is going to be the length of this. So you want to write this until this bar is green. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So this stuff here you can leave blank. I will just kind of go through it. If you want to publish this on a later date, let's say we have this all done, you can come over to publish immediately, click on that, and then you can choose when you want to publish it. It's going to give you a readability score and SEO score. So red means needs improvement, green is good. Again, it's not an exact science, but the more, if you can get both these green, it's going to be better. You can come down, this stuff, it doesn't really matter. Layout, so you can choose the different layouts. So if you want to have a sidebar, you can simply come to default, and then you'll have like your page here, and then you will have a sidebar on the website, just like this here. So I have the main content, and then I have a sidebar here. If I want to get rid of this sidebar and just have the main thing as the article, you can simply come up to here, you can scroll down, and you can do content, no sidebars. You'll come up, click publish, and then it'll remove this right here. And that's pretty much all you need to know about that. The next thing we're going to add is a contact us page. So pretty important to have, but you can simply come to pages and go to add new. So you want to create another page, a contact us page. And this one doesn't have to be super long. You just want to link how people can contact you. So you can simply type in like your email if you want to do that. You can do links to other social media profiles. Pretty much just mention like how, if someone wants to contact you, how can they get a hold of you? Simply put that in there. Maybe just do your little thing here. Again, this is pretty standard. People aren't going to be really searching for your contact page. They're going to come to your site, and then you will have a contact section. So this stuff isn't really a huge deal, but you can. It's always good to get in the hang of doing this stuff. So you can do, a focus key phrase might be just like contact, like your website name, contact us dash website name. That's fine. Not really a big deal, but you just want to make a contact. Click publish. And then the final kind of main staple page I would recommend having is a resource page. And this is just a section where you're going to list like all the kind of tools, resources that you use, or you would recommend someone who's reading your website could use as well. It could be resources, it could be tools, it could be like deals, pretty much whatever you want. I generally go with resources, and you can simply list like if someone's coming to your website, what are some things that they could benefit from, or what are some things that you use to help you do whatever your website's about? And here's mine. So just, I've just quickly done this, but one tool is SiteGround that we use that is the tool that we use to build websites, to host, that kind of thing. So if someone's coming to my site looking to, build a website, one of the things they're going to need is SiteGround. So this can be one of the most profitable pages on your blog or website, and I would recommend having it. But you just want to keep a list of all the helpful resources, deals, tools, all that kind of stuff. It could be like a physical product that you use that you would recommend. It can be an affiliate product. It could be your own product. Pretty much whatever. Definitely a must-have thing in my opinion. But just kind of brainstorm a list of products that people would want, that kind of thing, and list them down here. But that's pretty much going to be the main page. We have our home page, our blog page, we have our about page, contact page, and resource page. Again, you can always add more as you go, but this is a good starting point. We just kind of want to get kind of the structure of our site up so we can start creating content, because that's going to be what's really going to take our blog to the next level. If you don't have content, nobody's going to come to your site, and then it's not going to really matter what it looks like or what pages you have, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be it for this section, and we'll move on to the next step. In this step, I'm going to be talking about how to create menus. So we can create a menu for the top of our site right here. We can also create one for the sidebar as well as the footer. So what you want to do is you want to come up to your dashboard. You want to come to appearance and then menus. You can then look for create a new menu, click on that. And the first menu we will create is going to be the main menu. So simply type in the menu name, click on create, come down to menu settings and click on primary menu. Then you're going to have to decide what you want on your main menu. So you can do pages, posts, custom links in different categories. So let's say we have some pages you want to do. We can click on pages here. You can go to view all, and then you can select, maybe your about, maybe you want your blog, maybe you want your resources, and you can click on add to menu. And they're going to be put over here You can also do posts as well. So if you have posts you want to add to your menu, custom links where you can pretty much make your own link. So maybe you want to link to your YouTube channel, whatever. You could just type in YouTube as your link text, put in your YouTube URL, add to menu, it'll come over here. Or you can do different categories. So if you have different categories for your website. And if you do want to move these around, you can simply hover over it and you can drag it and it'll be in any order you want. What you can also do is you can do a sub menu. So let's say we want to have our About Us section under our blog section. We just simply take that. You don't want to do that. You can kind of move it over a bit and then it'll be under, so it'll be like a little drop down box. So I will just show you, let's say we want this for now. You can go to Save Menu and then you can go to your site. And as you can see, your main menu is going to be here. If you want to put our About page within our blog menu, you can simply drag that over, click on Save, and then you can go to your site. And when you see whenever you hover over the blog, it'll make a drop down for About Us. So that's how you do your first menu here. And let's talk about the sidebar. So if you want to do a menu in the sidebar, you can create a new menu. You can name it Sidebar. Click on Create. And one thing a lot of people do for their sidebar is they have a list of all of their popular pages. So you can do a menu with your most popular pages. So all you would have to do is come to Pages, go to View All or Search, and then search for your popular pages, add them to over here, click on Save, and then I will show you there's one more step we have to do after. That's going to be our sidebar, and then you can also do a footer section. So that's a menu that can go on the very bottom. So if you wanted to have that, you can do your footer. Again, you can create your menu, select Save Menu, and then once we have our menus created, what you want to do is you want to come to Appearance and you want to go to Widgets. So let's start with our sidebar menu. So what you want to do is you want to come down on this left-hand side and you want to look for Menu, which is going to be right here. So simply click on that. You want to add that to your right sidebar, add widget. It's going to add it over here. And let's say we want to do a popular post. We can simply make a title. We will select our popular post, click on Save, and then if we go back to our site, it will appear here. Obviously, I don't have any posts in this menu, but if you do have a few different posts, but it will list on the side here. Okay, so that's how you do that. And then if you want to do our footer menu, what you would do is come to Navigation menu again, come down to Footer Widget 1, add widget. We can do our footer. So maybe we want to do just, a general pages section again. We can title it whatever we want, come to Select Menu, look for your footer menu, save, and then you can go to your site, scroll down, and it's going to be right here. Okay, so that's pretty much how you do a menu. But you can literally put any page, any post, any custom link you want. That's pretty much how you do it. So just get your top one done, whatever you want to have in that. And then with the side, I personally like to keep my side pretty clean. So if I want to do like a popular post, I might do like a recent post. I might have like 3 to 5 recent posts or like 3 to 5 popular posts. And then for the bottom, I will just kind of link to other pages that aren't in my main menu. So it could be like a privacy policy, a contact page. I generally have my categories up here. So like, SEO resources, SEO speed optimization, that kind of thing up here. And then the bottom, I would have like my blog link, maybe like videos, about us, and then some other stuff as well. But that's kind of how I structure it, but you can do whatever you want. It's not a big deal. Just get your main one done. It's the most important. And then once you have that done, we will move on to the next step. The next thing I want to talk about is how to put widgets on your site. And a widget is simply just, it's something you can put in like the sidebar. It's something you can put down here. It's mainly like menus, like that kind of thing. So what you want to do is you want to come to your dashboard, go to Appearance, and click on Widgets. And then in the left here, there's going to be the available widgets. And as you can see here, we have the right sidebar, the footer, that kind of thing. So if you want to put different stuff in there, you can do that. You can do, if you want to put an audio, a calendar, if you want to put different categories, if you want to put like custom HTML. So maybe if you have like an affiliate offer you're promoting, sometimes they can give you banners that have codes. So you can typically do that and put that in, insert the code there. You can do an image. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I like to keep my sidebars kind of clean, but it's always good to have an image to like some of the most important posts on your website. So if you have a blog and you have kind of your cornerstone couple of articles, you can do an image, get an image created and put an image to that article. So what you want to do is like, you'll click on that, you'll go right sidebar, you'll add a widget. You can get, title of picture, You can click on add image, then you can insert it, and you're pretty much good to go. Click on save. If you go to your site, that's going to be right here, and you can really do whatever sort of thing you want. You can also come down and do a recent post, so you can do right sidebar. You can do recent posts, how many posts you want to show, 5 or 3. Title it recent post, click on save, it'll add that. If you want to do a search bar, you can do that as well. Or one other thing I like to do is I like to come down to text. I'll insert text in the right sidebar, and then I'll just kind of do like about us or something, and then I'll just kind of give like a 1 to 2 sentence kind of thing about us, and then I will link to my actual about us. So couple of sentences about the site. I'll like click here to read more or something, and then I'll simply insert this, and then I'll link to my about us page, and then that'll add us to. So if we click on save, we can come back and your about us section will be there. So that's kind of what I like to do. I like to have this, maybe a couple recent posts, or maybe a couple popular posts, and then maybe one image, and that's pretty much about it. But you can add widgets to the sidebar here. You can add widgets to the bottom, pretty much whatever you want. So you can kind of mess around, and then once you kind of do that, we will move on to the next step. So the next thing we'll actually do is we'll actually start to customize the look and design of our theme. So what you want to do is you want to come to your dashboard, come to appearance, and go to customize. And this here is going to be kind of customizing the GeneratePress theme. A lot of them are pretty similar. They're all going to be slightly different, but if you do have a different theme, you can still follow along because a lot of them are quite similar. So the first thing you want to do is you can come down to the left hand side here, and what we'll do is we'll start with site identity. So if you click on that, you can have your site title and site tagline, or you can upload your logo, and also you can upload your site icon. So what you want to do is, if you want to have your own logo created, and we will talk about how to do that in the next step, but if you do already have a logo, you can simply click on, there'll be a logo section, you'll select image, you can upload your logo, and then it's going to put it up in here. If you want to just have no logo and you want to have your site tagline, you can simply do that. So if you remove our logo, we can uncheck those, and then you can have your thing like this. But if you want to have it, you can simply select logo and upload that. I like to have my own logo, so I'll hide those, and then I will select my logo here. So let's say you have your logo uploaded. What you can do is you can come down to logo width, and you can drag this to make it whatever size you want. I kind of like having mine around 400 pixel. You can do whatever you want. Site icon is simply going to be the little icon you see up here whenever you have a page open. So you can upload simply your logo or pretty much whatever you want. You can just do like change image, or it'll say upload for you if you don't have anything. That's pretty much the site identity. Make sure you hit publish, and then you can come back. Next thing is going to be layout, and this is where you can pretty much mess around with the layout. So you can do container. Container width is going to be like the width of this thing here. So what you can do is, you can drag this and it'll actually make this a different size, that kind of thing. You can click this button and it'll go back to default. Content layout, you can do separate or one container. So you can separate is going to be like one here, and this is going to be separate. If you do one container, it'll just all be one. I personally like doing separate. And then you can do container alignment. I like just keeping this as boxes. Click on publish, and then we can come back, go to header, and the header is going to be this top part. So what we can do in the first is header presets. So you can do it whatever you want. So there's going to be navigation before centered. So if you want to have that up there, we can do navigation after centered. We can do navigation right or left, all that kind of stuff. So whatever you want to do, I personally like having my navigation after with my logo centered. Header width, you can do full or contained. Doesn't really make a big difference here. Inner header width doesn't really matter, but you can do header whether you want it centered, left, or to the right. Again, I like having it centered. Click on publish. We can come back, go to primary navigation, and this is going to be the navigation right here. So what you can do is you can do full or contained. I just like keeping it full. I like keeping that contained. Navigation alignment, you can do left, you can do right. I like having mine as center. Again, navigation location, we can do above or below. I like having it below. For navigation drop down, it's pretty much, let's say I have a section like this where I have a sub menu. Do you want it to come down? Do you want this section to come down when you hover over it, or do you want to have to click? So you can do that. If you want it as click, we will actually have to click on this to make it lower. I like having it as hover, drop down direction right, and then navigation search. If you want this little search button, you can click on to search your site instead of having it here, which I personally like. You can have that as enabled. Click on publish. If we come back, next is going to be sidebars. And this is where we can customize, like, what do we want our section here to be like? So do we want to have a, our page and then a sidebar? That's what would be this, or we could have a content with no sidebar. So we would get rid of the sidebar here, just be one big section. I personally like having a content and sidebar. So just make sure you click on publish or save. Then we come back, we can do footer. Footer is going to be the bottom thing here. We can do full or contain, just like the menu I like keeping at this. And footer widgets, this is where you can select how many footer widgets you want to have. If you don't have anything like me, it's going to be fine keeping it as whatever. But if you want to have, 1, 2, 3, 4 widgets down here, like let's say you want to have like 4 navigation menus down here, or like maybe like 3 navigation menus and then a picture, you can come to here and select 4. You can also do 3, 2, 1, whatever. Back to top, you can be enabled or disabled. So it's going to be this little thing here. So if you go to enable, it'll show this box right here. If you click on that, it'll bring you back up to the top. I like having it enabled. Next is going to be blog, and it's going to be if you go to your blog section. So do you want this here to be an excerpt, or do you want it to be the full article? All right, so if you do full, it's going to show the full article. I like doing it as excerpt, and that's pretty much it for layout. So if we go back, we can then do colors. So we can do the background color. I like just having it as the default color here. Text color, do like black or dark gray, like that kind of thing. Link color, so if we're in our content here and we put a link in, so as you can see, if we have a link here, what color do you want that to be? So you can put in a color code here, or you can drag it around. That's going to be the color, and then the link color hover. So if you hover over it, what color do you want it to have? You can do that. And then link color visited, blog post title hover. I don't really like to mess with that too much, but we come down to navigation color, and that's going to be the navigation color of this up here. So we can do white, gray, red, blue, or green. In this free version, it only comes with these, so you can't actually like fully customize it. They do have a paid version where you can, but I pretty much just generally go with this, and that's pretty much been fine for me. We can come back and we can go to typography. So this is where you can change we can change like the different fonts, that kind of thing, different font size, line height, like if you want to do like bigger lines, that kind of thing. I pretty much just like keeping this thing standard, but you can come with here and mess around. Next will be general, and there are these settings here, but we've already kind of taken care of this when we did the plugin section, so you don't really need to worry about that. Come back to menus. This is where you can just like create menus. We've already done that. Widgets, we've already done that again. And then homepage settings. So we've done this already, but you can change your homepage settings to be your latest post, static. Already done that. And that's pretty much all. You can do additional CSS. So if you want to put in some like special design thing, but that's more of an advanced thing. We won't really cover it. But that's pretty much how you customize it. We've done our I'm going to show you how to get your logo done in the next section, but if you already have one, I showed you how to put that, how to do your menus, colors, all that kind of stuff. So you can just play around with this. It is pretty simple once you get the hang of it. But just play around with it. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect right now. Nobody's coming to your site, so just get something that's good enough up, and then start creating content. And then once people actually start coming to your site, you can always customize it down the road. But that's going to be it for this section, and we'll move on to the next. Now it's time to create a logo for our website, and this is pretty important just because if you don't have a decent logo, if someone comes to your site and they see this unprofessional, that kind of thing, they're not going to be drawn to your site and all that kind of stuff. So it is important. It's easy to do, or it's really cheap. So I will show you how to do it. If you want to do it free, you want to do it on your own, you can use tools like Photoshop, that kind of thing, which are going to be they're more difficult. So what I like doing is going to Canva. So just canva.com, you can come down and create a design. You can then come down and look for logo, which is right here. So simply click on that, and then they're going to have a bunch of pre-made free logos that you can do and simply just customize it the way you like. So let's say you come down and let's say I like this one. I can click on this and then you can simply click on this. You can drag it around, do all this kind of stuff. If I want to change the text, I could do this, and your site name here, you can, if you highlight it, you can change the size, you can change the font, all kind of stuff. You can make it bold or unbold, you can change the different colors, all kind of stuff. If I want to change the color of this, I can simply click on that, come up here, change the different color, all this kind of stuff. If I want to drag this around, if I want to delete this section here, I would simply click on that, click on delete, and it'll delete it from there. I can change the size, all this stuff. So it is pretty cool, and again, it is free. They do have some paid, they do have some of these are going to be paid, but the majority of them are free. So you can mess around and create your own logo here. If you want to upload anything yourself, you can come to uploads here, and then you can simply upload your thing here, and that's pretty much how you upload things. You can change the background. So if you want to do a different background, you can simply come and click on that. You would have to get rid of this. We can do, all these different backgrounds. Really simple. We can do text, so they do have all these different text. So if you didn't want this here, we could come down and like make this maybe. We simply click on that. We can move that up. We could have that there. Like that, and then we can change the text and all that kind of stuff. You can add your own text. There's different elements. So there's like arrows, shapes, all this kind of stuff. You can search for icons and shapes. Or there's photos, there's like stock photos here if you want to use any of those for blog posts or any of that kind of stuff. So it is pretty cool. I'm not going to really walk you through designing one myself, but you can come through here and design one any way you like. So that's if you want to do it for free. But I'd recommend you just pay somebody. It's super inexpensive. You can get that done for like $5-10 on a site called Fiverr. So if you go to www.fiverr with 2rs.com, you can come down and you can type in logo. And if you come over to sort by, you can click on this. You can go to best selling. And there's going to be tons of people who will create an actual professional logo for you. So this one here is, this is starting at $5 US. There's some that are more expensive, but again, I just like getting one that's like $5, right? So super simple. So if I wanted this guy, click on this, and you can come down, go to the basic, and they'll create 2 custom design concepts for you. So you get 2 concepts. You get the source file, a transparent logo, and high resolution. So all you would do is you would click on continue. You would then pay, give them the instructions like what's your site name, what do you want on your logo, what colors do you want, all that kind of stuff, and they will take care of all of it for you. So you can see different samples of that they've created. So like these are much better than anything you could probably create yourself. So there's really no point in trying to do it yourself, spending like an hour, when you can just pay someone $5 to do it. They'll make it much better for you, and they will get it done in like 1 to 2 days sort of thing. They'll send it back, and then all you have to do is come back to your site, go to your dashboard, go to customize, go to site identity. You can hide the site title, hide the site tagline, go on select image under logo. You'll come to upload your files, and then you'll simply just click on this, choose image, and it will put it in here. And then you can come down to width here and you can change it. And that's pretty much all you have to do, right? So that's super simple. Get a decent logo done, whether you want to do it yourself or pay someone else. Get it up, and then you're pretty much good to go. You can always change it down the line, but just get something up for now that looks decent, and then we can move on to the next step. Now that we have all the basics of our site up, so we have our pages, the design's looking pretty good, we got a logo. The next thing you need to do is you need to start creating content, and creating content is the most important thing you can do on your blog, because if you don't create any content, how's anyone supposed to find your site, right? So you need to be creating good quality content so people can actually find you and come to your site and buy whatever you are selling. So I will just mention that it's going to take you about 8 to 10 months of creating consistent content to start seeing traffic, because it is going to take Google quite a long time to actually start trusting your website. Whenever you do get started, just know that it'll take quite a while in order to start seeing traffic. I found about 8 to 10 months of creating consistent traffic is kind of what you expect to see. The next thing is going to be answer specific questions first, right? So your first like 10 to 15 posts should be answering really specific questions that people in your niche would be wanting to know. So like if I'm like WordPress, right? My first couple posts, like if I created a content on how to, SiteGround review or how to make a website, that kind of thing, I'm going to get crushed and there's no way I'm going to rank. So I need to find the super specific questions that someone in my niche would be wanting to know. And I want to start creating the first 10 to 15 posts on that, right? So maybe only like 50 or maybe only 100 people are searching that every single month. But it's what you need to do in order to start, gaining Google's trust and start ranking. But once you have the first 10 to 15 posts, because they're going to be so much easier to rank for those, you will start getting traffic easier, and then Google will trust you, and then you can move on to the more competitive keywords as you go. So first 10 to 15, make them super specific questions. And then the final thing is create long posts. So these first 10 to 15 posts should be around 1,000 to like 1,200 words long. So they should be, they should be long, they should be informative, and they should be really high quality. If you just create a bunch of short posts, your site's never going to take off. So as a general rule, I like to follow the first like 10 to 15 specific questions to be about 1,000 words, and then anything more competitive. So if you want to go into like a more competitive keyword, it should be maybe like 2,000 to 3,000 words long. Okay, so that's kind of the blogging things to know. So once you do that, we can then move on to how to find blog topics. So there's 3 ways I like to use. The first is going to be Google autofill. The second is going to be answer the public, and third is going to be YouTube channels. So you don't want to just go and create content that you think people would want to know. You want to look for content that people are already looking for and then create the content for them, right? So the first is going to be Google autofill. So if you go over to Google autofill is basically whenever you start typing in a certain search term. So if I start typing in like WordPress SEO and I do space, all these are going to be suggestions that Google is suggesting, and these are different terms that people are actually typing into Google. So Google is suggesting these different terms, and this is how you can kind of come up with different sort of content ideas. So maybe I'd want to create a post on WordPress SEO plugins, and maybe I'd want to create one on WordPress SEO tips, SEO optimization, SEO by Yoast. These are all different content ideas that I could potentially write an article about. Or you can kind of go like, is WordPress... So do you see how if I start typing is WordPress a good website, and then all these different things are showing is website a good website builder? Is it the best? Is it good for website building? That kind of. So these are all different questions, and Google is suggesting these because people are actually looking for them. And if people are looking for them, then you want to create content on them. Okay, so that's the first way. The second is going to be a website called Answer the Public. And right below this funny looking guy right here, you can come to this box here and you can type in like a seed keyword, so whatever your niche is about. So let's say that my site was about archery. So if you come in and type in archery, you can get questions. So once that finished loading, you can come down, and where it's going to say questions, you can click on data here, and then it's going to show you all these different questions that people are asking. So are archery bows legal? Are archery arrows reusable? So these are all questions that people are searching for. And if your site is in the archery niche, you know that if you create a content on this, you would be attracting the person that's interested in archery, right? So these are all different things. So can archery cause scoliosis? Can archery help you lose weight? All these different things are different blog post ideas that you probably want to write about. So when you're first getting started, you want to find specific questions that not a lot of people are searching for, because there isn't much competition. So there's literally hundreds of different ideas that you can do to find different blog topics. So there's never any shortage. What you should do is you should come to these websites and you should write down all these questions that you could potentially create a blog post about. The final way is going to YouTube and simply typing in whatever your niche is about. So if we type in archery, we can come down to filter and we can click on channel, and then it's going to show a bunch of different channels related to archery. So we can click into a few of these, go to videos, and then you can come over to sort by and go to most popular. And it's going to give you the most popular videos by this channel. So as you can see, there's a bunch, how the Hunger Games got archery wrong. All this kind of stuff are giving you good ideas because 136,000 people watched this video. So chances are it is an in-demand topic, and you might want to create something similar on your website. a simple guide to custom arrow building. So maybe you'd want to create an article on that. So you can literally go through maybe like 3 to 5 channels about whatever your website is about. And if you look at their top like 10 to 15 videos, you can write all those down. You can go to answer the public and write down all those questions, and then you can do the Google auto suggest, and you should literally have hundreds of different ideas on what you can create blog posts about. And then all you have to do is focus on writing and attracting people to your site. So once you have all those ideas, we'll then move on to how to actually structure your posts. So what you want to do is, if you come to your WordPress dashboard, you can go to post and go to add new, and then it's just going to be like any other page here. But what you want to do is, so let's say I'm in the archery niche, that's what my website's about, and I found that, through one of the ways I showed you, I found that I want to write a topic on, is archery a good workout? So what you do is you come to your dashboard, you go to post, and you go to add new, and the first thing you want to do is you want to simply title it that specific question. So the question is archery a good workout? We want our post title to be that exactly. We want our permalink to be that as well. So you can click on edit and make sure that your permalink is that same as the title. And then what you want to do is, in the first couple paragraphs, you want to answer this specific question. I'm sure you've been on Google asking a question. You then clicked on an article and you couldn't find the question you were looking for. You went back to Google and kept looking through, and it is frustrating. So that's why you want to answer the specific question in the first couple of articles. So this is kind of how I would do it. So in the first paragraph, I would just talk about, like, in this post, I'm going to be talking about, blah, 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 whatever you're going to be talking about. In the next paragraph, you want to actually answer that question. So is archery a good workout? Here's the answer, right? So I would give like a 2 to 3 sentence, straight to the point answer on, is archery a good workout? Is it or isn't it, right? Just super, super simple. And that's all you want to do, right? So maybe it's like 2 to 3 paragraphs answering this question, and that's all you need to do for the start, right? So that's pretty much, that might be like 300, 400, 500 words. And then what you want to do is you still have like, 600, 700 more words to do. So what you want to do is you want to find related questions or like related things that people would be looking for next. So if someone searches for this and they find out, is it a good workout? So let's say it is a good workout. What's something that they would be looking for next? And we basically want to talk about that in the next part of our article, right? So what we can do is, if we simply type this into Google, as I've done here, they're going to give you a section called People Also Ask. And these are kind of related questions that people are asking. So what are the health benefits of archery? Can archery help you lose weight? What is the best exercise for archery? Or you can come down to the searches related to, and you can see all these different things, right? So if someone was searching for, is archery a good workout? Do you think they would want to know what are the health benefits? Probably. Do you think that they want to know if they can help lose weight? Probably. Is it a good, what's the best exercise? They probably want to know that. So you should probably talk about that in the next sections of your article. So let's say this first section here was maybe like let's say it's 400 words, right? And we need to get to the 1,000. That means that we have to write about 200 words for each of these answers. So, if the response to this was 200 words, the response to this was 200 words, and the response to this to 200 words, with this, that would be our 1,000, right? And that's pretty much pretty good for a super specific question. So that's all you want to do, right? So you want to have your main question. You want to answer it right away. Then you want to find related questions or terms that people are looking for, and you want to answer those as well. So they come to your site, right? They get good, and then they scroll down and they read more and more and more. And by having people on your page for a long period of time, Google's going to like that. They're going to rank your stuff higher, and you're just going to get more traffic overall. And if you do want to know more about all this kind of stuff, so SEO and how to write more content, I will be doing another video in the future. I will leave a link for that down below, but I just don't want to keep this video too long. So I just want to kind of give you the bare bone gist of it. But as long as you follow this, you should be good. And if you do structure your content like this, if you do it consistently for like 8 to 10 months, you should be in a pretty good spot as well. So you can't edit this, just like the pages, all this kind of stuff. We can put in links if you want to do a link in there. We can censor this if we want. We can create lists, all this kind of stuff, right? So you can do headlines. And then once your article is actually good, we can come down to the Yoast SEO section. And for our focus key phrase, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our question that you want to answer is in here. And then we can edit this. We can make sure that looks all nice like we've already done in the past. We can do our meta description. It's going to give us our SEO analysis. It'll give us some things to improve. Then we can come down and we can do categories. So obviously, this could be like an archery workout category or something. You want to create different categories on your site. You can tag it, be like, archery. And then we can come down and we can go to set featured image. So that's basically setting an image at the top of here. So you want to have that. So you can come down to set featured images. And you can simply click on that, upload your files. And if you don't have pictures yourself, you can simply come to Pixabay or Pexels, and you can simply type in archery or whatever, and you can get a bunch of royalty-free images to use on your site. So that's where I get most of my pictures. So if you don't have anything yourself, you can do that. But that's pretty much how you go about creating content. But one final thing I will mention is doing internal and external links in your content is super important. So it's always important to link to other websites as well as other pages on your website. So what you want to do is, if I'm in this section here, and maybe I'm talking about the single best exercise for archery, but I know that I have an additional blog post on my site about the 10 best exercises for archery, I would probably want to link to that post. So the more posts you link to, the better. It's going to help everything rank higher. And by having people come to this page, and then maybe they'll click on your article, they'll go read your other article, and there'll be more time on your website, which is going to be a big plus. So that's one. And then you also want to link to other authoritative websites. So maybe there's a really well-known archery website out there that I'd probably want to link to. Maybe like, can archery help you lose weight? And maybe I'd be like, according to thebigwebsite.com, whatever it is, archery can help you lose weight. But by linking to there, you're showing Google that this article here is related to that website. That website already has authority, so Google could possibly, give you a boost or give you more authority, that kind of thing, whenever you are linking to good websites. But once you are done everything, you can simply come up and click on publish, and then your post is going to be published and you're going to be good to go. The final step in the process, once everything is done, is you can simply come up to the top right hand corner, hover over your name, and simply log out. And if you do have any questions related to what we've just talked about, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't already seen our latest video on SEO and getting people to your blog, click on the video card to the left and watch that, because it is going to talk more about how to actually optimize your site to rank in the search engines, how to create more content, more detailed than this video here, and we will see you in the next video.